judge the post-match tales. All the big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious, and that's our style. With each ahoy, we raise our steins. Ahoy, ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasting world sports, we're having a good time. So come along and join us, sporty crew, where the banter's always fresh and the laughs are true. Oh, wasted world of sports, here's to our cheer. We'll see you on the pitch and drink some beer. Yeah.
Wasted world of sports, eh?
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack. Ahoy! He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.
Wasted World of Sports, ahoy! How's everybody doing? Super Saturday, and the one and only game that we'll be doing this afternoon, because I have my very own birthday party to attend. But it should be a good one at least. I mean, it's my team. What better way to start the birthday festivities than with my own team? And despite the fact that I've gone against them, I've tipped against them because they're not playing that well for starters. And Manly have a tendency to bounce back. Whereas the Sharks, oh boy. Look, I'm a Sharks supporter through and through. But I'm very, very concerned about what season 2025 is going to bring. Oh, yeah, I'm very nervous. Anyways, Mookie, ahoy there. Mitchell Vela Sport, ahoy. Natalie Green, ahoy there. NRL fan 25. And, of course, Gina Ferracini, ahoy there. Welcome along to this one, Sharks versus Manly. So Manly have won their last 8 games on the back of a loss. So what that means, of course, is if they lose a game, they win the next one. And they've done that 8 times in a row. Whenever they've lost a game, they rebound with a win. I don't know that the Sharks' rebound rate is as high as that. But fingers crossed. I mean, look, the Sharks are my team, but I have to opine and tip with my head and not my heart. My heart says Sharks. My head says Manly. That's the way that I go coming into this game. Pitpack, ahoy, mates. Jason Hayden, ahoy, up with the Saints. This game, of course, will contribute to my all weekend long multi, which is shaping up pretty nicely. My weekend long multi, where I had the Dragons head to head. I had the Roosters with 18.5. I've got Manly today with 8.5. I've got the Rabbitohs head to head. And I've got the Eels with 9.5. Melbourne Storm head to head. And West Tigers head to head as well. So we'll keep an eye on that one. So the Sharks can win, but we don't want the Sharks to win by more than 8 points. NRL fan says, my instinct says Eagles. Hoping. NRL fan 25, you say failed that Roosters game. Should have tipped them. Oh, me too. Me too. I'm kicking myself. Because honestly, I'm going to bring it up again. For those that weren't in the stream last night, I mentioned on YouTube, there's a preview video for round 6. In the preview video, I talk about all the reasons why the Roosters can win. And I finished that segment by saying, I actually think the Roosters will win. Absolutely kicking myself that I didn't actually tip them. I mean, I was very, very confident that it was going to be a close game and that the Roosters would cover the line. Absolutely no problem there. But in the tipping contest, of course, you can't tip the line. You have to tip head-to-head. I wasn't so convinced that the Roosters would win head-to-head. It was a guarantee they were going to cover the line, though. Game of Mel, ahoy there. How are you doing today, Game of Mel? So I've stacked up my multi in this one. I've got a $10 bonus bet, so I thought, why not load up? It's completely unrealistic, but those are the most fun ones, aren't they? And the funny thing is, the most unrealistic ones are quite often the ones that pay out completely unexpectedly. So I had a $10 bonus bet. Sportsbet gave me a $10 bonus. Here, do what you like with it. I said, okay. I mean, we all know how bonus bets work. So I chucked it on this one. This is an absolute monster. Holy moly, Olakuatu, Ruben Garrick, or Sam Stone Street, Brenton Nickera, or Tola Cola, and Hiroti. Those are my 4 legs. DD says, fingers crossed, Sharks win. Everything Cars. Ahoy there, Everything Cars. 1K likes. Tyler Rabbitohs says, go Manly. Vida Loca says, who you going for this game? Look, I've got to go for the Sharks. The Sharks are my team. But I have tipped Manly. I think Manly will win, but I will be going for the Sharks, if that makes sense. Sharks are my team, so I've got to support them. But, yeah, common sense says tip Manly. And if I get the tip wrong, then obviously I'll be happy anyway because my team's won. You don't care about losing tips when it's your team who gets the win, right? The way I'm looking at it anyway. Jim Condon, ahoy, mates. Jim Condon says, up the Sharks. Oh, the Barton says, I know that feeling. A Western Reds jersey in the crowd. If that's not a, well, I was about to say, if that's not a statement to the NRL, the signs that they're holding certainly is. NRL, give us a team. This game, of course, is over in Perth, Optus Stadium. Optus Stadium, the Sharks won last time out. They defeated the Rabbitohs on that occasion, 26 points to 16. Should I tip the Sharks? Should I go for my team? I feel like such a Judas, such a betrayer for tipping Manly. I'm running out of time. I've got like 1 minute to decide. Paul Danino says, no, don't tip the Sharks. Big Kahuna says, yes, tip the Sharks. Sharks to get up by 14. They're my team, so I feel terrible that I haven't. Coxie9684 says, Hines will go nuts this game. Sharks by 14. Oh, you're talking me into it. Drizzy Goat, ahoy, mate. Rabbits by 12, absolutely. Absolutely. I have not at all been convinced with the Cowboys. I appreciate the fact that the Cowboys did get the win over the Panthers, but they haven't been convincing, have they? They've not been convincing at all. NRL Fan 25 says, tip the Tigers. I have tipped the Tigers. I've gone Tigers head-to-head. They're against the Knights. 100% on that one. Jason Callaway, ahoy, mate. How good was it to see the Broncos get beaten last night? It was very good indeed. Very good indeed. It was even better because I called it. As this game's underway, Sharks versus Manly. Kickoff in this one. Let's keep an eye on our 4 legs. And it's Aioli Sauce with the first hit up for Manly. Ahoy, Monian Sabuan. Multi looks interesting. All the best. Thank you. Khalid, ahoy there. I can't look at my Twitch, sorry. Yes, Big Kahuna, thank you very much for the rose and the hearts. Says Manly with an early shift. Send it out wide to the left. I can only have 2 chat rooms open at any one time, and I've decided to go with TikTok and YouTube. Fifth and last, Manly, they're going to go on a run here. Brooks up to halfway. Now he puts the kick in, and Will Kennedy happy to just watch this go over the touchline. And that is a pretty good start for Manly. Making a lot of meters upfield. Not afraid to shift the ball. Remember, Manly have bounced back their last 8 games in a row, coming off a loss. Their last 8 times that they've lost, they've come back and won, is what I'm trying to say. And that was a pretty solid opening minute. And now big defense on Fonua Blake there as the Sharks bring it out at their own end. And a penalty, nice and early here for the Sharks. A nice little piggyback up the field. Too slow to get up and let the player play the ball. Paul Danino says Tigers by 13. Drizzy Goat, you've been fading Warriors every week, but I think they beat the Storm by 8 tomorrow. Let's go Warriors. Well, the Storm have beaten the Warriors 16 in a row. Surely the Warriors are due, right? Right? The Warriors have got to be due. 16 in a row. I mean, that's a hell of a streak. Hines out the back to Trindle. Heads left. Gives it inside. And that's Teig Wilton. Teig Wilton, that Coxie says, first try scorer. Fonua Blake in at first receiver to McInnes. And a nice flat pass for Nickera. 20 out from the line. Brayley goes quickly. Hines steps back in field. Gets away from a couple, Nico. He's still going, but he's heading across field. Now he's wrapped up. 15 out from the line in midfield. Fifth and last. They go left for Trindle. Kennedy out the back. And there's Hiroti, who's dumped on the 20-meter line. And that'll be a handover. And Fitzy's not happy with that. Fitzy's straight on the blower. And once again, it's been a cause of concern for the Sharks for the past few seasons. Is fifth tackle options. Or lack thereof. XJC, ahoy, mate. And it was actually a fifth tackle option that cost them the game, ultimately, against the Raiders. Well, contributed to it. And now a penalty to Manly. The exact same thing that happened down the other end. You would think if you've just received a penalty for holding down, that you wouldn't then be stupid enough to give one away in the very next set of 6 for the exact same thing. But then, I mean, that's life as a Shark supporter, isn't it, XJC? That's life as a Sharky supporter. That is incredible. They just received a penalty for holding down. I can't believe they gave one away. As Cherry Evans to Brooks, who dummies, draws in the outside man and creates some space for Tommy Talau, who ultimately coughs the ball up. And the Sharks have repelled that attack, but Manly, they're looking dangerous early. They're not afraid to shift the ball and really challenge the Sharks' edge defenders. The mistake was made, but you've got to love the ambition. There's Fonua Blake, dummies. And he'll go to ground on play 3. Still inside their own half here, the Sharks. McInnes just hands it on for Kafusi, who gets the offload away. Now Hines into a little bit of space. Can't get the arms free. And he's taken down just short of halfway. Hines is doing a lot more running already in this opening 5 minutes than I've probably seen from him all season long so far. Fifth and last, Trindle puts the kick up. Mulatalo's flying through here to put pressure on. Oh, but what a take at the back from Clayton Fulalo. Mulatalo was flying through there. Trying to make a menace of himself, Ronaldo. But that was well taken by Manly. So a solid start, really, to this game by both teams getting through their sets. The greatest, ahoy, mate. Ref 13 plus, says the greatest. Oh, I'll tell you what, there were some very unhappy people last night with the referee as Cherry Evans puts the boot down and Kennedy takes it inside his own 10. Looks up and Cherry Evans is there to meet him. Oh, DCE. The man is ageless. Put the boot to it, led the chase downfield, and now the Sharks under the pump and tackle 2. They're still inside their own 20. As Stone Street brings it outside. And now Hiroti, just one out stuff. Nothing fancy from inside their own territory here, the Sharks. McInnes onto Nikora. Nikora running that beautiful 45-degree angle back towards the ruck. Fifth and last, Hines from inside the 40. Gets a good purchase on that, but it's straight down the throat of Hopoate. Hopoate throws a shocking pass, but it bounces up nicely for Talau. I don't know what the hell pass that was from Hopoate, but they got away with it. And now a penalty to Manly on the 30-meter line again. Sharks offside on this occasion. And again, ill discipline costing them. That's the last 2 sets of 6 now for Manly coming out of territory that the Sharks have given them a piggyback up to the halfway line. Jaden Morris, ahoy, mate. Go Manly, says Jaden as Brooks heads across field. Hands it off inside for Aioli Sauce. And Josh Aloiai will play it 40 metres out. Brooks heads across field, links up with Ben Trebojevic, who spills it. It's rinse and repeat at the moment as the Sharks now come up with a mistake. Double knock on. And actually, we've got a penalty here. Manly have gone flying in. The prone player on the ground has copped a hit. And this could be trouble. This could be trouble for Manly. But up until that point, it had been fairly rinse and repeat. Manly bring it out to their 30. Sharks give away a penalty. Manly put a shift on and spill the ball. Rinse and repeat. But now it is the Sharks up to halfway. Fanua Blake. That's Fanua Blake. Met hard on the halfway line. So that penalty to the Sharkies there, it's just shaken things up a little bit. Broken the string of Manly penalties. As McInnes out in the back for Hines. Inside for Nikora. Backs into the defense. And he'll play the ball 35 out just to the right of the post. Brayley scoots out a dummy half and he's got McInnes running with him. And McInnes will go to ground. Slow play the ball. Fanua Blake in at first receiver again. Here's Hines now through the hands to Ramian. Ramian towards the sideline. Has to throw the ball back in field. And Ben Trebojevic is there to dive on it. The Sharks just going a little too sideways there. I mean, well defended by Manly. So you get the feeling at the moment Manly are doing all the attacking. If this makes sense, Manly are doing all the attacking. The Sharks are playing well within themselves, it seems. They're not really trying anything at the moment. They're playing the field position game. As holy moly, Olakawatu almost goes through. Genitalia, ahoy. And Lehigh Hopawade makes a dart. He's up over halfway. Fifth and last. Brooks from 40 out puts it high. This is a contestable kick. They're flying through to put pressure on Kennedy. Kennedy stands back and watches it bounce. And luckily, it goes over the sideline. Jay Little. You're a Shark supporter and it scares me today. Oh, tell me about it. I'm a Shark supporter and I've tipped Manly. I'm that nervous about this game. Up Stacey. Ahoy there, mate. Doing very well, thank you. Genitalia, you're going terrible with your tips this week. 0 from 3. Well, I'm doing pretty bad as well, but I do at least have the 1. I want my sport. Ahoy there. Welcome along. The Sharks now through Fanua Blake. Up to the 40. Judah Shivian. Ahoy, mate. And the kick downfield, taken by Manly just outside their own 10. Hopawade winds up. And he doesn't look like he's got a very big frame, Lehigh Hopawade, but he's got some strength in behind him. And that was a good, strong carry. Brooks in midfield. Another early shift here from Manly. And Kohler almost goes through. Hines holds on to the ankles for dear life. And now it opens up down the short side. A big charge there from Tommy Talau into Sharks territory on play 3. Ben Trebojevic, 30 out. That's the 4th. They've obviously spotted something down the edges. Cherry Evans now to Hopawade. Garrick steps back in field. Garrick will be tackled 5th and last. Cherry Evans puts the crossfield kick in. It'll sit just outside the end goal. Hines bats it back. Trindle's there to collect it. And he'll be tackled in goal. Goal line dropout incoming. That was a fantastic set of 6. And Genitalia says, Dan, you know your judo well. This is democracy. Manifest. Trindle with the goal line restart goes deep. Very deep. And it sits up on halfway. Winding up. Takiaho. Manly goes straight back to work. Aioli. 20 metres out. He'll play it in front of the post. Brooks. Out the back to Evans. Hopawade floats it over the top for Talau, who cuts back in field as the Sharks' defence slides across. 6 more tackles, though, for Manly. DCE in midfield. Takiaho again. Oh, this is a golden opportunity now. 10 out from the line, right in midfield. Tavanga sends it right. And Aioli Sauce on the angle takes on Will Kennedy. Will Kennedy just became a speed bump in his way. But a successful speed bump it was. Cherry Evans now to Brooks. Wrapped up by Hiroti, who races up out of the line. Had to make that hit stick. Tavanga at first receiver. To Jakey Trebojevic. 5th and last. Tavanga sends it right for Cherry Evans. A flat pass for Garrick, who hits it at pace. And he is held up and tackled a metre short. And the Sharks' goal line defence has repelled that attack. But it's been all Manly so far in terms of attacking threats, attacking opportunities. And they are just destroying the Sharks territorially at the moment as well. So the Sharkies, they've got to find a way for some go forwards. Even though 18 tackles to 12 in favour of Manly inside the opposition half suggests that it's a little bit more even than what I'm making it sound. But just visually, it's where those tackles are taking place. Manly are getting deep into the red zone. The Sharks have not been so far, as McInnes will take tackle 4 just outside the 30. An early kick here from Brayley. Finds some space. 40-20's on, but Hopawade gets there. Hopawade gets there to cut it off. A good kick chase, though, led by Nico. And that's what they need more of. Something a little bit different there. Through the arms here, through the hands. Garrick in open space. The early shift is the order of the day again for Manly. They've obviously really noticed something down the flanks of the Sharks' defence. As Olakau'atu now straight up the guts. A 6 again for inside the 10 metres. Cherry Evans now catches them napping out of dummy half. And Clayton Folalo will play it. That's tackle 2. They're 30 out over on that far touchline. Here come the Sea Eagles. Brooks in midfield to Hopawade, who's up in the line. Goes out the back there for Kohler. And Coca-Cola will play it. 20 out. They're just going edge to edge here, Manly. Hopawade now. Dancing around in midfield. Luai style. Throws the pass on the ground again. Olakau'atu picks it up. And holy moly, He's shut down by Teig Wilton, who wasn't afraid to take him on. A couple of tackles left. Aioli Sauce drops back on the inside. Fifth and last. 10 out. Tavunga to Brooks. Cherry Evans. Flat pass to Ben Trebojevic, who spills it. And that's another let-off for the Sharks. Their defense holds firm once more. Another mistake from Manly in the red zone. But they're making all the plays. All the plays at the moment. Sharks to bring it out of their own end. Manly's completion rate at 67%. TMCRK says no turbo, no hope, as Hines goes down the short side. Hiroti, very close to the sideline, is now taken over. Good defense there from Manly, just sliding across, shutting down the angle. The Sharks, too adventurous. I think Manly, quite honestly, have graduated beyond no turbo, no hope. I mean, they just so happened last week to come up against a Melbourne Storm team with Jerome Hughes returning, coming off the back of a loss. A red-hot Melbourne Storm team at full strength off the back of a loss. It was just unfortunate timing for Manly last week. I think they really have graduated beyond the whole no turbo, no hope. And they're on the attack again. Manly, it has really been all Manly attacking this first half. Jake Trebojevic to Cherry Evans, who dummies and goes straight through. He's brought down in a desperation tackle from Trindle. Inside the 10, Takiaho. I have no idea, genitalia, no idea at all how the Sharks were favourites coming into this one as Hopewade grubbers through, sets up in the end goal, but Jesse Ramian wins the chase to the ball, grounds it for another goal line restart, and all this defence will surely be taking its toll here on the Sharks. They are going through a mountain of defensive work. Trindle with the goal line restart. Mr. Ed's dead. Ahoy there, mate. Didn't quite get it right there. Braden Trindle. And Manly will go on the attack now. 20 out from the line. Brooks inside for Ben Trebojevic. Tavunga to Brooks heading across field. He's got Aioli Sauce cutting back on the angle, but he stays outside for Cherry Evans. Manages to swing away from Braden Trindle. And he has to surrender in the tackle for fear of an obstruction call. Takiaho on the crash ball. Wasn't quite ready for it. And they're a metre short here, Manly, right in front of the post. Tavunga goes right. Cherry Evans to Hopewade, who comes back in field, trying to catch a couple of napping defenders. Fifth and last. Tavunga sends it out now for Brooks. They're going to run here. Brooks gets away from the tackle. Gets it back for Kohler, who's overcooked it. And it's gone dead in goal for a 7-tackle set. The Sharks have survived again. Well, credit where credit is due. The Sharks defense holding firm for now. Kennedy races out for the tap. And they're on their way back upfield. Rebel Nuts, ahoy, mate. And Genitalia says, must be the loss for Manly last week. That's the only thing I could think of. But then the Sharks lost last week as well. The Sharks lost to the Raiders. At least losing to the Storm is respectable. Even though they did get, massacred by them. They didn't just lose, they got belted. But, yeah, I think getting belted by the competition favourites is a tad more respectable than a last-minute loss to the Raiders, in all honesty. No offence, Raiders supporters. Nickera Gets the offload back for Kennedy as the Sharks march inside Manly territory. 20 minutes gone in this one, and we've got time off. 20 minutes. And the Sharks now put the ball high, taken by Clayton Faulalo, and also taken out in the air was Faulalo. Mulatalo wants a captain's challenge. Well, there's a push in the back there. It seems pretty blatant. Smiley face says, who's looking the better team so far? Definitely Manly. Definitely Manly. The Sharks are defending, though. Oh, Cherry Evans has kind of changed his line here. Cherry Evans has changed his line here to take out Mulatalo. And this will be a successful challenge. So there we go. Cherry Evans has changed his line, put his back into Mulatalo, and taken him out. And this will be a penalty Sharks. And after all the defending that they've had to do... Oh, it's going to be a penalty Sharks? No, it's not. Okay, never mind. Well, the Sharks were successful in the captain's challenge, but Manly still have the ball. I'm not entirely sure how that worked out, but... Well, anyway, so it means it's not a penalty, at least. Because the Sharks had given away the penalty. So the penalty was overturned. Loose pass here for Manly. Ola Kawatu scoops it up and puts on some footwork. Holy moly, Ola Kawatu up over halfway. And he meets Whenua Blake. That's a hell of a contest, that one. Fifth and last, Cherry Evans. Grubbers in behind the line. Kennedy, happy to just watch it roll into touch. But once again, Manly, they're just marching upfield at will. TMCRK says, I think it was just challenging the penalty, but still a fair catch. Yeah, see, I was looking at the replay and seeing Cherry Evans change his line and thought that they might have overturned it based on that fact. Therefore, Cherry Evans changing his line becomes an escort. You see what I'm... Because I can't hear the TV. It just distracts me from doing the call myself. So, anyway, the Sharks do get a penalty here. But I think you're right, basically, is what I'm saying. TMCRK. They definitely challenged the penalty. Didn't get one of their own, but did get the original one overturned. Hazelton. Up over halfway here on the back of that penalty. Hines to McInnes. McInnes with a strong carry. No score yet. I was expecting a high-scoring game, to be honest. But no score after 23 minutes and counting as Wilton carries inside the 30. How often do we see it, though? A team that's had to do a bulk of the defending wind up scoring the first points. Can the Sharks do that here? As Whenua Blake carries it just outside the 20. A couple of tackles left. Hines spots half a gap, but it shuts down. Manly's defense on point there. And this ball is kicked into the in-goal. And a goal line dropout. Braden Trendle with a nice little kick. Dribbling it into the in-goal. And Manly left with no option for Lehigh Hopewade but to run it into touch. And the Sharkies, assuming that they can secure the dropout here, as Brooks goes short. Not short enough, though. It's actually a bit of a heavy kick. And Mulatalo takes it under no pressure. He gets up and goes again, Mulatalo, but he's told, you held, mate. Go back and play it on the mark. And the Sharks get their first back-to-back set of the game that I can recall. 16 minutes left in the first half. And they've come up with a mistake. Oh, you can't believe it. Cronulla Blake, of all people. Cronulla Blake has just dropped it cold. The Sharks, it was their first back-to-back set. Their best chance of the match so far. And Cronulla Blake has dropped it. Incredible. Jason Calloway says, I see the refs must be getting paid more to help teams win with how inconsistent they are being. And how can you enjoy the sport seeing this? The inconsistencies are frustrating, Jason. Absolutely. I don't think for 1 second that it's necessarily to help one team in particular or whatever else. I think it's just a lack of, what's the word? A lack of accountability. Like, I understand it's a really tough gig being a referee as Olakuatu links up with Cherry Evans down the short side. The kick back in field is trapped by Kennedy, and Kennedy dives on it. But once again, it's Manly making all the play, all the attacking threats, and creating all the space. They just can't finish it. They can't ice an opportunity at the moment. And the Sharks hold on again. Ed Vogel, ahoy, mate. Hines receives the second phase ball. Ramian cuts back in field. And that'll be tackle 4. Just short of the halfway. Cronulla Blake. Inside Manly territory. 5th and last, Hines. Dinks it in over the top. Finds some space and gets a nice bounce. Hopawade heads back in field. And he's taken 20 meters out from his own line. 0-0, the score remains. 13 and a half left in the opening 40 minutes. Manly have had a majority of the chances, which leads one to believe. I mean, history does suggest a team that's been under the pump. How often do we see it, right? They end up scoring the first points as Nathan Brown takes it over halfway. 5th and last. Brooks from 40 out puts it high. Kennedy plants himself under it, takes it, and scoots away. Kennedy's in open space, and he's tripped up by Cherry Evans. Trindle, flat pass there to Mulatalo from marker, or from dummy half, rather. And now Stone Street. Up to the 40. Yeah, exactly right. As I said earlier, this game has really felt like it's rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. I feel like I'm watching replays of every single set over and over again. Hazelton. A nice strong carry. Dizzy the Egg. McInnes at first receiver. Out the back to Trindle. Cut out pass is tapped on. And Stone Street's got a little bit of open space now. Cuts back in field. Runs over the top of one. And that was something a little bit different from the Sharks. And look at that. It almost yielded a result. 5th and last. They need to get a kick away here. Kennedy does just that. Kicks for Hiroti. Hiroti takes it and can't get the ball down. Manly come away with it. Oh, the idea was right. The execution lacking. Zero tackle for Manly. 11 and a half minutes to go in the first 40. Scrappy play the ball, that one from Nathan Brown, but Brooks now heads across field. 40 out from their own line. Manly scooting out a dummy half, trying to find some space. Ben Trebojevic up over halfway. Paul Fairhurst, ahoy there, from St. Helens. Cheers. Fifth and last, Cherry Evans puts a monster kick up. Kennedy's under it, takes it well, and he gets away from Talau. He's been safe under the high ball this week, Kennedy. He's obviously been putting in some work in the training paddock. UFC says my girl wants to hang out, but I'm really just in the mood to take some shrooms and lie in bed by myself. Does that make me a freak? Absolutely not, UFC. Absolutely not. Everybody enjoys some alone time. Every relationship needs some form of alone time away from each other to do your own thing. As McInnes carries up over halfway. Now down the short side on the fifth and last. Trendle puts the kick in over the top. And Hopawade is there to take it. Down the short side, Cherry Evans. Couldn't quite open them up. Sipley's on the field. Here's Brown. We could be going into halftime with no score here. Brooks will kick on tackle 4 from inside the 40. No threat of a 40-20. It's way too straight up the middle of the field. And Kennedy trots back to take it. Returns it 15 out from his own line. Sharks back in possession. Here's Stone Street. AU Matty says, tell Jake to score right now. Somebody to score. Anybody to score at this point. SS Storm fan, ahoy mate. As Brayley out of dummy half links up with Hazelton. Up over halfway. Fifth and last, Hines down the short side. What the hell was that? He's kicked that a little too heavy. And under no pressure at the back there, Lehigh Hopawade to take it. Inside the final 9 minutes here of the opening 40. And no score. And quite frankly, nobody's really looked like scoring either. I wouldn't say it's necessarily been a matter of extremely solid defense either. Not what I expected at all, T-Bone Malone. I was expecting a high-scoring game, hence why I loaded up with a 4-leg anytime try scorer multi. Mind you, it's not out of the question that 4 tries get scored in the second half. Fifth and last, Cherry Evans is happy to just bang it into touch along the ground and across the sideline. Happy to just slow it down. I wonder what the temperature's like in Perth at the moment. Because it seems like they're very happy to just slow things down here, both teams. TMCRK, are you based out of Australia or somewhere else? Yes, Brisbane, Australia is the home of the Wasted Water Sports studio. Jim Condon says, come on, Sharks, as a break is made. Talakai goes straight through. Talakai flick pass around the no-look pass, and he's thrown it to the opposition. The ball is then spilt. Well, what a comedy of errors that was. Talakai with a break up the middle. He throws a no-look pass straight to a Manly player who's running the support line. And then Sipley, who took the intercept, proceeds to lose the ball. A result for the Sharks in the end. Neo, A1, just need Nickera to score and Sharks to win. As the Sharks scrum down, 40 out. And Toby Rudolph will take his first hit up. 6.5 to go till the break. Hazelton will take tackle 2. The Sharks, an opportunity here before halftime. Hines to Trindle. Through the hands now, Harotti. Taken high there by Olakauatu as he was falling. 10 meters out on play 3. No call from the referee on that high shot. Rudolph. A 6 again, though. A 6 again for the Shark. 10 meters out. Brayley to Hines. Inside for Hazelton. Hazelton heads towards the posts. They're a meter short. Is this the first points of the game? Hines cut out pass to Stone Street. Stone Street one-on-one with Kohler. Kohler holds him up. And he's over the line, Stone Street, but can't get the ball down. Oh, the Sharks. That has been their best play of the game so far. It took 35 minutes for them to throw some sort of caution to the wind. And they've still got an opportunity now. That's only play 3. They're throwing it around now. Talakai. On tackle 4, 10 out. Short side for Trindle. Fires the Harbour Bridge ball over to Stone Street, who may have had a foot in touch, but at the moment, it's going to go up as a try. The Sharks have scored in the corner, potentially. I think he has put a foot on touch, though. The floater from Trindle was just a little too heavy and a little too out in front. I am sure that Stone Street has touched the sideline here. But look at what the Sharks are doing when they throw caution to the wind and actually try and make a play. Trindle breaks down the short side. The two-man cutout pass. Oh, that was beautiful work from Stone Street. Tiptoeing down the sideline, collecting the ball with one hand and planting it down in the corner. Oh, we can have a tick off the multi. Stone Street, you've earned yourself a beer, my friend. A tickety tick off the multi, and the Sharks break the deadlock. And do I dare point out that play was all Braden Trent? Well, Stone Street obviously did a lot of fantastic work as well, but it was the vision and the execution of Braden Trindle, not Nico Hines. But anyway, this is Nico's time to shine. A sideline conversion attempt to make it 6-0. He strikes it well. It's hooking back, but not enough. It holds its line. And 4 points to 0 it remains with 3 minutes to go till the break. And Manly, who have had most of the running of this game, find themselves behind at the break. Well, find themselves behind now. Still 3 minutes to go. Joyce Yang, you have faith. This game belongs to the Sharks. Tyler Forge, ahoy, mate. You need Nikora and Talau and Sharks 1-12. I'll take some Nikora as well. I'd be happy to have that. As Manly get us back underway, Trindle onto Rudolph for the first hit up. Brings it out to the 20. Paul Danino, why do I live in Queensland and go for Cronulla? Because my parents decided to move to Queensland I was at a very young age, didn't have a say in the matter. I was like 3 years old and they said, we're moving to Queensland. And I've been here ever since. Talakai to Trindle, holds the pass up nicely for Hiroti. The Sharks are full of running now. Fifth and last. 40 out from Manly's line. Trindle puts it high. Hopowade's under it. Hopewade takes it well. Fantastic work there from Lehigh Hopewade. Oh, he's a talent. He's a talent. He's just, do we say anything about fingers? Probably not. Genitalia says exclusive vision of the Spencer Lenu versus JT at halftime. Yes, good old Spencer Leniu having a go at Jonathan Thurston at Suncorp as Manly now put it through the hands. Some space is created. And Faulolo cuts back in field. And he's tackled 30 out from the Sharks line. Fifth and last. A minute 50 to go till the break. Brooks puts the kick in. And it's been taken by Stone Street. Stone Street with the kick return. Finds some open space. And he's been taken high here by Olakau'atu. Holy moly, Olakau'atu. He's got to drop that tackle height. And the Sharkies, I tell you what, they did all that defense. They're turning that into attack now as Olakau'atu goes on report. DJ Shack says the only one of the Hopawate triage who has had problems on and off the field was Jamil. Inside the final minute of the first half, Vanua Blake. Nickera now to Trindle. Shows it inside. Puts the grubber kick through on tackle 3. Stone Street's got a double. Sam Stone Street has got a double. The vision of Braden Trindle. And the Sharks have opened it up again before the break. They did all that defense. They held on. By hook or by crook, they held on. And they are now taking a healthy-looking lead into the halftime break. Braden Trindle is lighting up Optus Stadium and combining nicely with Samuel Stone Street. The balls from Braden Trindle there to put the grubber kick through on play 3. Incredible. Look at that. It took so long for something to start happening that even the scoreboard went to sleep. Try confirmed. Ah, the Sharks right on the stroke of halftime. An opportunity here to take a nice 10-point buffer into the break. If Hines can convert. He's already had a sider from here. He hangs it out to the right again. Nico couldn't draw it around enough. 8 points to nil at the break. The Sharks 2 tries to none. James Tayar says there's just no spirit in attack. Looks so sloppy. Yeah, when I said by hook or by crook earlier about the Sharks' defense on their goal line, I wasn't meaning Sharks' illegalities. Manly just creating their own problems down in the red zone. Manly have been, for the most part in that first half, they've been able to make meters very easily and get down into attacking range. They've just then done nothing with it. They've coughed the ball up or a nothing kick into the in goal that's gone dead. 7 tackle set. Incredible. TMCR cases makes no sense how they hold 2 games in Origin 2 at Optus in Perth but avoid giving them a team. Thoughts? Well, I mean, in fairness, Perth has had a team before, haven't they? And it didn't go well. Now, obviously, 2025 is a little bit different. As Tyler, thank you very much for the TikTok. Very much appreciate that. I mean, that's my only argument against rushing again to have a team in Perth. I mean, financially, it's one thing to have a big occasion like Origin that you know is going to draw a crowd, a packed house once a year, and send in a couple of games over here and there throughout the course of the year. But when we're talking about financially, week in, week out, actually having a team flying back, you know, it's actually cheaper to fly to New Zealand from here in Brisbane anyway. It's cheaper to fly to New Zealand than it is to fly to Perth. So I understand that the NRL would have all sorts of airline deals, and they've probably got their own private jets that they could use for such circumstances. But yeah, it is a tough one. The GOAT says Manly are so bad. As a Manly fan, but Stone Street had a massive shepherd from the kick return. Oh, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one, TMCRK. It'd be better than PNG. No offense to PNG. PNG's got a lot of support, though, for rugby league. But I know exactly what you're saying. The Reds were a trade-off team, like the South Queensland Crushers after the Super League war. So there you go. (27.2 degrees Celsius in Perth at the moment. So that'd be my only thing regarding Perth. And may I say, the absolute silliest of ideas would be, in my opinion, the Perth Bears. You can't just take the North Sydney Bears, take the Bears label, and go, all right, you're a Perth team now. As much as people want the Bears back in the competition, surely that's not the answer. But I digress. Queensland for life. Is it tonight or tomorrow? The Parramatta play tonight against the Cowboys. I mean, not against the Cowboys, sorry. Parramatta play the Raiders. Is it tonight or tomorrow? I've got myself confused. I've gotten myself horribly confused. Hang on, let's have a look at the draw. It is tonight, yeah. Tonight, 7:30. Eels versus Raiders. E.B. Williams says, what do you think is Joey Manu's odds of playing All Blacks in the coming years? Very slim, because he wants to come back to rugby league. There's already work being done in the background. Joey Manu could be back in the NRL playing for the Roosters if he's allowed to walk out of his French rugby contract. The whispers are that he's currently trying to get out of that French rugby contract and come back to the NRL, basically. So, should that happen, zero chance of playing for the All Blacks. TMCRK says Bears is interesting, but either way, it should be a South New Zealand team or Perth. Let's be honest, could New Zealand prop up a second team? As much as I love the Warriors, could New Zealand realistically have a second team? Talent pool alone. New Zealand's a rugby union nation. I think maybe, and I know this might seem harsh, but I think maybe the Warriors need to show a few years of consistency I'm trying, because I love the Warriors. So I'm trying not to be overly critical, but do you know what I'm trying to say? They've got one team that yeah. So two, yeah. Sydney from the west, reckon Trell will score tonight. Latrell's playing 5/8 tonight. So Latrell playing in the 6 jumper. He will have a lot of try assists. Whether or not he can jag one himself, I would like the odds of Latrell scoring a try better if he was on the wing. I mean, in the centres. Sorry, not on the wing. If he were in the centres, he's definitely going to be very heavily involved. So the opportunity's there for sure. Just, I can imagine him setting up a couple. He'll definitely get some try assists tonight. He's definitely on for some try assists. TMCRK says, well, in Melbourne was sold out the Wars vs Storm game. And we do most years. They travel from ages away to watch. And when they do, it's packed wherever they go. Noah Gahan, ahoy there, mate. Queensland for Life says Parra is supposed to be getting a Bronco player. First I've heard of that. And yes, Jim Condon, the next team will be from PNG. DJ Shack says the thing is Mitchell isn't a prototypical 5/8. He's not a game manager. No, well, he definitely won't be managing the game. He'll be Aloiai style. Aloiai with Nathan Cleary. Nathan Cleary's the game manager. And Aloiai was able to just play off the cuff. Not a perfect example, I know, because Aloiai does have that game management mindset. He's got the ability to play 7. So it's not the perfect example. Lockie Galvin might be a better example. A game breaker, which I actually think makes him a perfect 6, as long as you've got a controlling 7 beside you. Jaden Sullivan. Jaden Sullivan is a great player. Yeah. Ooh. Okay, so Rabbitohs have a couple of... Well, Rabbitohs have got a couple of game breakers in the halves. I would say that Jaden Sullivan's not exactly a controlling number 7 either. So, Jaden Sullivan at 7, Latrell Mitchell at 6. I reckon that the Rabbitohs will win by 30 or 40, or they'll lose in a close one. Based on that halves pairing. E.B. Williams says Joey Manu to the Wars. If he comes back to the NRL, I dare say it'll be at the Roosters. The Roosters are a team that definitely has the salary cap space for him. I don't know what the Warriors cap is looking like at the moment. But the Roosters are definitely a team that could afford him. Noah asked for the thoughts on the game so far. Who have I got to win? Thoughts on the game so far is Manly were looking the better of the two teams for about 25, 30 minutes of that first half. And then the Sharks had a really, really impressive last 10. They repelled all of Manly's attacks. Manly gave them a lot of assistance in that by coughing the ball up and making errors. But Yeah, momentum. Half-time came at a good time for Manly, I dare say. Because momentum is very, very hard to win back once you've lost it. The Sharks had all the momentum there at the back end of the half. It took them 30 minutes to gain the ascendancy. Half-time was the greatest thing that happened to Manly, I think, and we'll get a reset at the break. Jason Calloway says, did you see Spencer Leniu and Jonathan Thurston? Yeah, I did. I didn't see it at the time. I found out about it this morning. E.B. Williams, can we all agree? I should really be putting these up on the screen, shouldn't I? Can we all agree there is no way Joey Suaalii is ever coming back? Never say never. Never say never, but Suaalii has taken to rugby union like a duck to water, and I'm sure he's enjoying himself. So it's hard to see. I can't speak for Joey Manu in terms of his rugby union ability. I've just heard the whispers that he's looking to get out of his French rugby contract and return to rugby league. So kind of like Benji Marshall did when Benji Marshall went over, and he just didn't. Benji just never really adapted to life in rugby union. So he looked to make the switch back. Manly can definitely still win this game, 100%. It's only 8 points, a converted try, and a penalty goal. Suddenly, it's all even Stevens. Oh, yeah. There's absolutely no way that that this game is done and dusted. Anyone can still win. TMCRK, your dad coached Benji when he played touch. Oh, that's awesome. Random cool fact. I love it when we get cool stuff like that happen in the chat room. We had, most recently, we had one of the Hetherington brothers in the chat room on TikTok. Supposedly. I mean, I say supposedly, but I mean, it's not exactly a thing you would lie about, is it? I can understand if somebody came in and said, "Oh, that's my brother," and they were talking about James Tedesco, for example. I'd go, okay, but since it was a Hetherington username and you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm trying not to be overly, not to sound overly harsh. Jack Marchant, what do I think of the Roosters last night? I called it. I am proud to say that I'm one of the few people on YouTube, anyway, one of the few YouTube content creators that actually did a video in the preview for the round and came out and said the odds for this match are ridiculous, and don't be surprised if the Roosters win. I'm very pleased to say that I was one of the few, one of the only that actually picked a Roosters victory. And I'm glad that they did me proud and backed it up. Second half getting ready to get started here in this one. 8 points to 0. The Sharks take the lead into the break. You would have to say somewhat against the run of play. Manly dominated large portions of that opening 40 minutes. But the Sharks are ahead where it matters. They're on the scoreboard. And it's the Sharks with first use of it. They had the last say of the first half. And they'll get first say here in the second. Kennedy carries up towards the halfway mark. And the ball spills out the side. Brayley picks it up, but it's been called a knock on. A knock on against Toby Rudolph. He wants to challenge it, I think. And it is going to be a captain's challenge. Captain's challenge here early. Gina Ferracini, ahoy there. And the Sharks have burnt their captain's challenge inside the opening minute. Noah Gahan. Are you going to be live for the next two games or just this one? Just this one today, because after this game, I'm off to my own birthday party. It's time to celebrate. So just this game today. But we normally do all the games. Usually. On a normal weekend, on a normal Saturday, I would be doing all the games. But, yeah, my birthday weekend is no normal weekend. 30 out from the line. Manly on the attack now. Play 4. It would be a dream start to the second half for them. Cherry Evans inside to Bully Moore. Straightens the attack. Fifth and last. Brooks out the back to Cherry Evans. They're going to run it here. Hopawade now puts boot to it and Kennedy swoops on it. Oh, Will Kennedy's having a good game. Will Kennedy is having a great game tonight. He has been everywhere. And you've got to applaud him for it. Absolutely applaud him for it. Talakai, dummies, holds the pass up. Goes to ground, 8 points to 0. Brayley from dummy half. He's got Trindle. Brayley's a good player for the Sharks, I reckon. Quite underappreciated. Fifth and last, Trindle puts the kick down. And Hopawade waits for it. Brings it back outside the 20, where the Sharks, a wall of defenders, are there to greet him. And cheers, chat room, for all the birthday wishes. Very much appreciate that. 30 out from their own line here, Manly. Here's Tommy Talau, TT, as I affectionately like to call him. Oh, charging onto the ball at pace here on the burst. Nathan Brown. And up over halfway, Sipley. Fifth and last now for Manly. 40 out from the Sharks line. Cherry Evans puts it high. Kennedy runs forward and takes it, and Kennedy's in space. Kennedy's got nobody in front. Hopawade tracks across. Kennedy puts the step on. He's got support from Stone Street, but he dummies and goes on his own. Will Kennedy. Oh, he's having a day out. And Kennedy has gone the length of the field from the kick return. He's heard all the criticisms that we've thrown at him for the past few weeks. And he has fixed it all up. And he is having a night out, or a day, as it may be over there in Perth. William Kennedy. I never once doubted him. Put the head down and off he went. Some fancy footwork to beat Hopawade. The dummy is sold to Cherry Evans. Length of the field. Enjoy work, Gina Ferricini. Have fun. When work finishes, I might, depending on how my night's going, where I'm at, I may just call and annoy you later on. Oh, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Here comes the bunker. They're looking at this contact from Stone Street. Oh, it's going to be an escort penalty. The try is going to get scrubbed off. And it's going to be a penalty to Manly. Oh, boy, I am so glad that Will Kennedy is not in my multi. Otherwise, I'd be furious right about now. I would be seething at that call. No try. Penalty Manly. Stone Street's been done for an escort. Oh, that's a rough call, that one. That could be a game changer. You know, it's been talked about a lot in the chat rooms over the streams about consistency or lack thereof. And there is another example. A lack of consistency in the calls. Sam Stone Street done for an escort. Oh, Manly, what a let-off. They have got to take advantage of this. Brooks hands it inside for Sipley, who's picked up and almost dumped. He manages to go again. Brooks to Cherry Evans. Hopawade to Kohler. A little bit of open space for Talau. But it's been shut down quickly. The Sharks sliding defense. Once again, a match here for Manly, who bring it back into midfield. 6 again. The Sharks are offside. Olakauatu with a big don't argue on Braden Trindle. But Hiroti and Wilton combine to bring the big fella down. 10 out from the line. Brown hands it off inside for Sipley. And that big tree is chopped down. 5 out from the line. Right in front of the posts. Cherry Evans wants it on the left. Hands it off for Ben Trebojevic. The crash ball for Bullymore. Bullymore goes close. They're a metre out. Quick play the ball. Sharks surely offside there. Teig Wilton was up quick. Numbers here for Manly on the right. Garrick hands it off for Clayton Faulalo. Dives for the corner. He's claiming it. The try's been awarded, but the bunker will have a look. Well, they had numbers to burn. Through the hands, the baton from Ruben Garrick. And here goes Faulalo diving. He's in the air. One hand plants it down on the touch and goal line. On the touch and goal line. This will be no try. This will be no try. And the bunker is about to rule out another one. One for each team now. Noah says the games have been all right this week, wouldn't you think? I think so, yeah. The inconsistencies in the rulings sort of happen from week to week, as opposed to all within the same game, if you know what I mean. What's called one week is let go the next. That sort of thing, and vice versa. It was let go last week, but it's been called this week. It's the inconsistencies from round to round. I mean, look at the head high crackdown, for example. No calls for the opening 4 rounds, and then suddenly round 5 and 6. It's like we're cracking down on this now. And speaking of which, here's a penalty for the Sharks. Pressure on the neck of Mulatalo. And Mulatalo's doing a good job of selling it. It's all right, mate. You've got the penalty. It's all good. And the Sharks will find touch up towards the halfway line, leading 8 points to 0. And that was a good kick from Trindle. Actually takes it beyond halfway. 6 minutes gone in this second half. Hazelton with a nice strong carry. Oh, he gets amongst his work. Big Dizzy the Egg. Hines heads across field. Inside ball for Talakai. Talakai brought to ground. 25 out. Brayley goes left for Hines. Runs it to the line. Links up with Wilton. Wilton brought down by Garrick and DCE. 15 metres out. A couple of tackles left. Trindle in front of the post to Hines. Kennedy out the back to Ramian. Ramian keeps the ball alive as Kennedy wraps around. Kennedy goes straight up the middle. Now he's in open space. Kennedy links up. No, he doesn't. He dummies and dives over beside the posts. And they won't be able to take this one off him. Will Kennedy gets his try in the end. And the Sharks extend their lead. Oh, Will Kennedy's having a day out. And holy moly, Olakau'atu's hurt. Olakau'atu is clutching at his wrist. He's down in pain in back play. How have the Sharks managed to try from here? Hines to Kennedy. Kennedy stays alive in the play, wraps around. 1, 2, 3. Dummies. Beats a fourth and a fifth and dives over beside the posts. Boy, oh boy, Will Kennedy and Sam Stonestreet, they're having a straight shootout here for man of the match. Try confirmed, and the Sharks lead at 12-0 with the kick to come. $12-0 kick to come. Well, genitalia. Maybe maybe the Sharks were justified in their favoritism. Tanawa. Ahoy there. Tanawa 9926 says, up the wars. Will Kennedy. Gosh, he's having a game. Stonestreet with 2. Kennedy with 1. And the Sharks find themselves up 14 points to 0. Quite amazing. Quite amazing. Sharks now piling on the pressure. They've got all the momentum here on the back of that Kennedy try. 9 minutes gone in the second half. And they're back inside Manly's territory on play 4. Hazelton straight up the middle. Another strong carry there from Hazelton. Olakau'atu's broken. He's favouring that arm badly. 5th and last, Trindle puts the kick up. Racing through to compete was Mulatalo, but Hopoate's done extremely well there. Taken that in the face of the kick chase pressure. Poor Olakau'atu, he's busted. He's part of my multi as well. Not that I was expecting this multi to get up. It was an adventurous one. At best, it was adventurous. Nathan Brown on the 5th and last. He'll play it. Just outside their own 30. struggling to get out of their own end this half. Brooks needs a big kick. Taken by Kennedy on the full at the back. Offloads it for Stone Street, and Stone Street will rumble forward. Kane Higgins, ahoy mates. Sharks have got this in the bag. Ooh. Still 30 minutes to go. I wouldn't be counting any chickens just yet. But they are looking good. They are looking good. Oh, they've spilt it here, the Sharks. Mulatalo comes up with the error, and this just invites Manly back into the game. The door has just been left slightly ajar. James Tyre is saying that Manly haven't been the same since this whole DCE drama, which is certainly a fair point to raise. It was an interesting time and place for Cherry Evans to elect to bring that all up on live television. Here's their chance now, Manly. Well, their chance of many. They've had a lot of opportunity. Brooks inside down for Nathan Brown. Rumbles it up 30 meters out from the Sharks line on play 3. Jake Trebojevic wants it on the left. Here's Brooks now cutting back infield. And he's cut down by Brayley. Scooting out of dummy half there. Simpkin catches them napping. Fifth and last. Doesn't get the 6 again. Cherry Evans in midfield. Flat pass for Bullymore. Fires it back for Cherry Evans, who spills it. It's gone backwards, though. And now Hopewade on to Garrick. Garrick gets away from the first tackle. Garrick heads for the corner. Puts the grubber kick in. This sits up in the end goal, and it's been, well, Folalo's got the ball. Has he planted it down, though? It's going up as a try, but it will get looked at. They might have got one back here. And it's on the back of a Sharks mistake. Mulatalo dropping the ball on the 30. Leaving the door ajar, as I said. And here they come. Is this the moment that sparks Manly to life? Second phase play, very similar to how the Raiders scored their match winner against the Sharks the other week. Second phase ball. Garrick puts the grubber kick through, and now it's all about Valalo collecting it, and I think he has. This is going to be a try. This will be try confirmed. Manly have finally got themselves on the board. Broken second phase play. And a Sharks mistake comes back to bite pretty hard. Try is confirmed. Clayton Faulalo scores in the corner. From the sideline, Ruben Garrick converts. And it's 14 points to 6. Manly are back in this in a big way. Jonas Waring. Joseph Waring watching from PNG. Go Sharks. Welcome along, Jonas. And PNG, of course, big rugby league loving nation. Probably very excited, Jonas, to be getting a PNG team into the competition. Back underway, Manly from the restart. Kobe 257 says up the Sharks. 26 minutes to go. 8 points the difference. It's game back on. That try from Manly. Game back on. Here's Jake Trebojevic. Been relatively quiet tonight, offensively anyway. Cut out pass there from DCE. Hits the chest of Ruben Garrick, who's held up in the tackle, fighting to get free. They couldn't get him to ground there, the Sharks. Nathan Brown up over halfway. Fifth and last. Brooks puts the kick up. Kennedy's there. Kennedy takes it. Gets away from Sipley, but Cherry Evans is there to bring him down. 20 out from their own line, the Sharks. Leading by 8. 25 minutes remain. Anybody's game. Should be in for a pretty good finish to this one. Kobe, the Sharks are my team, so I will be going for them, of course, as Atkinson's on the field. And Atkinson links up with Rudolph. Rudolph is on the ground appealing for a high tackle penalty, and he gets it late in the tackle count, just short of halfway. And it's Cherry Evans with high contact on Toby Rudolph, right up around the throat. And I think it's fair to say that Cherry Evans is not having his best of games. Maybe, just maybe, he's a little distracted. But whatever could he be distracted with? Hiroti takes the tap. Jay Little says, you remind me of Chumley. Not the first time. It's not the first time that anybody has said that. And also, somebody came in once as it's intercepted and Brooks is away. Luke Brooks has got nobody in front of him, but does he have the pace? The Sharks are flying at him from everywhere. Brooks, 10 out now, dives over to score. Oh, Manly are back in a big way. Luke Brooks, length of the field, intercept try. It's 14 points to 10. Kick to come. And just like that, game well and truly back on. The Sharks, they were lined up out to the right. And Luke Brooks steals it away from them. If he doesn't make that intercept, the Sharks score with a 72-on-1 overlap to the right. He had to make that intercept count, and he did in the biggest possible way. Heel fries, ahoy, mate. Robert Howe says, distracted by money, DCE. Jason Calloway says, Dan, Souths versus Cowboys. You got $100. What team will you pick? Souths. Luke Brooks, length of the field, intercept try. Sharks were on the attack inside the 10-meter zone. And Luke Brooks just said, thank you very much. And goes length of the field to score. Ruben Garrick to make it a 2-point ball game. It's on target. Garrick just needs to hold its line. It does. 14 points to 12. Ruben Garrick puts it over. "22 minutes to go. It is absolutely still anybody's game. This one is far from over. Heel fries. We are counting down the days till WrestleMania. Oh boy, this game has just got a new lease of life. It was the spark that was needed. Manly back in possession. But anyways, I was saying, Jay Little is like, you remind me of Chumley. It's not the first time that that's ever happened. I've also had somebody was in the TikTok chat room just a couple of weeks ago. And in all capital letters, in all capitals, it's like, dude, why do you look exactly like Aaron Woods? And the other one that I get all the time is, funnily enough, from another one of those pawn shop shows. As the Sharks now back in possession. $14 points to 12. The Sharks lead. And Will Kennedy's down in back play. Richie from Hardcore Porn is the other one that I get all the time as Nickera heads across field. 30 out from the line here on the fifth and last. The ball goes high. Not a lot of distance on it, but it is contestable. And Ramian will spill it over the sideline. Manly survive that and suddenly carrying all the momentum here, Manly. It's gone back and forth at various times throughout this game. As Will Kennedy, he's still with the trainer in back play. I think he's staying on the field, though, by the looks of it. Up towards the halfway mark. Here comes Takiaho for Manly. Simpkin from dummy half links up with Brooks. Brooks heads back infield, ignores DCE and goes on his own. Fifth and last. 40 out from the Sharks line. Cherry Evans kicks it high for the corner. It's a good kick chase. Kennedy, this will test him. He takes it well. Will Kennedy having a blinder. That was a test. He was just with the trainer, remember. He had just been down with the trainer. So that was really going to test him out as Mulatalo heads back in field. 18 minutes to go. 2 points the difference. Olakuatu is still out there, I believe. Yep, there he is. He doesn't seem 100% as the Sharks have got a 3-on-1. Now some space for Wilton. Wilton cuts back in field, and he's brought down just inside Manly's territory, fifth and last. Trindle puts it high. Hines is racing down the middle of the field. Hopewade lets it bounce. This could go anywhere. Hopewade bats it back into the end goal. Hines is there, but Hopewade collects it and runs it dead. Oh, that was a mess. Hopewade needed to attack that ball on the full. And it's a result for the Sharks. Goal line dropout. Robert Howell, thank you very much for the super chat. Cheers. $41 for the Panthers to get the wooden spoon. I wouldn't waste my money. As Manly don't find the 10 meters with this restart. And Brooks can't get that Latrell Mitchell bounce. Sharks ball, 10 out from the line. Can they open up another lead for themselves? Another little lead. McInnes in midfield. But yes, thank you once again, Robert Howe, for the super chat. Atkinson, dummies, takes them on the outside. And he goes to ground, 5 out from the line. Fanua Blake beats one. Fanua Blake is half a metre short. Tackle 3. Manly are all offside here on the left. Atkinson thought he spotted half a gap. Tackle 4. Right in front of the post. Brayley out the back for Trindle. Holds it up for Hines. Hines with the double pump to Mulatalo, who feeds Hiroti, and Hiroti will dive over in the corner. And it's tickety-tick number 2 off the multi. Mawane Hiroti scores for the Sharks. We get our second tick off the multi. With 16 and a half to go, it's still game on. I mean, for the multi, it's still on. We're halfway there. 18 points to 12. It's a difficult conversion right on the sideline. Beautiful play there from the Sharks. Try confirmed. Hiroti in the corner. Sharks up by 6. Kick to come. That was some fantastic work. Let's have a look. And we'll see if they end up offering me any sort of sweet cash out. Which I wouldn't take anyway. I'm just curious. Okay, Hines from the sideline, an opportunity to give them a nice buffer. It's 6 points at the moment. He's had a lot of practice from out here. Hines, this one hooks away and hits the upright. It hits the near upright and bounces away. Oh, poor Nico. He can't buy a conversion tonight. Although he has kicked one. 18 points to 12. It could so easily have been 24-12 if Hines was able to nail the kicks. Oh, there he is, Uncle Wayne. Ready for the Rabbitohs versus the Cowboys. Abigail says, go Sharks. Mad NRL edits. Ahoy, mate. Noah says, Sharks came to play. Who scored the try? The most recent try was Mawane Hiroti. A tick off my multi. Halfway there. 14 minutes to go. And halfway through the multi. Hey, it's still feasible. Fanua Blake offloads to nobody. Hines can't collect the loose ball. Kennedy's there to save the day. The Sharks have lost a lot of ground, though, back inside their own 20 off that loose passing. And Fanua Blake tries again, holds on to it this time. 5th and last. Hines from inside the 30 needs a big kick. Oh, does anyone want to dare go Golden Point? What are the odds on Golden Point in this one? Zenon 332. I picked the Rabbitohs to beat the Cows. Rabbitohs to beat the Cowboys. Who do I think will win the comp? I've been saying since the end of the grand final last year that it will be the Melbourne Storm, and I've seen nothing to change my mind on that. As Aioli Sauce straight up the middle. Olakau'atu is down again in back play. He is really not 100%. He's really not healthy as Manly now. Spread it to the left. Half a gap opens up here for Hopewade. But he's taken down 5th and last. They're 5 out from the line, Manly. Cherry Evans with a little dink across field. Olakau'atu's there. Garrick's there. Garrick takes it. Puts the kick through. And it's collected by Brayley. Was Brayley offside? Yes, he was. Penalty to Manly right out in front. Brayley was offside. It was played at by the Sharks. They tap and go quickly. Here's Takiaho. Mad NRL edits says, take the 2. This is one occasion where I advocate keeping the pressure on and going for the try. Brooks heads across field, links up with Cherry Evans, who slips on his own feet, gives it off to Hopawade, and Hopawade's brought down 5. Oh, Cherry Evans, he slipped over his own feet. From dummy half, Ruben Garrick fights his way towards the line. He's half a metre short, Garrick. Thought he caught them napping. Cherry Evans now to Jakey Trebojevic, and Brooks loses it. Oh, Luke Brooks has been so good all day long until that key moment of the game where he drops it cold. Oh, no. 0-0. Brooksy. Noah, Wasted Water Sports, is also live on YouTube. Scrum down for the Sharks, 11.5 to play, 6 points the difference. Judah Shivian says, can you kick for points while in play, or is that only after a try or a penalty try? You can have a drop goal, or what they call a field goal. You can attempt to kick for the posts. You drop the ball first and kick it on the fly, and that's worth 1 point unless you're outside the 40-meter line, in which case it's worth 2. And we might see one of those very soon. We may actually see one of those very, very soon. As the Sharks now shift wide to the right, but it's a loose pass at the back of Stone Street, and Talau collects it for Manly. Seems like it's pretty rare. Yeah, Judah, it's only worth 1 point, so you only use it when the game is... like now, when time's running out, the game is almost at an end, so the Sharks would be very happy to take 1 point and just put themselves out into a 7-point lead. But yeah, you wouldn't do it early in the game. 10 minutes to go in this one, and Manly on the attack. Hopawade to Simpkin. Aoli Sauce now to Brooks. Trebojevic cuts back in field. Down the short side on the 5th and last. Through the hands. Brooks. It's the 5th and last, and they've just surrendered in the tackle. Well, jeez. Poor 5th tackle option. And the Sharks will play it 10 meters out. Wasted Water Sports, for those asking, live on YouTube. Live on TikTok, also live on Twitch, but I can't see the Twitch chat. Anybody on Twitch that wants to chat, TikTok or YouTube are the main platforms. 18 points to 12. The Sharks still holding on to a lead. Mulatalo with a strong carry. 9 minutes to go. Hines takes the line on. 5th and last. Still inside their own half. Taken at the back by the Sharks. By Manly, sorry. Jeez, Sharks did the kick. Taken by Manly, who now bring it back. 8.5 minutes to go, and they start from their own 40-meter line. Here's Ruben Garrick heading across field. Garrick gets away from the tackle of Nickera. Slow play the ball. Garrick struggling to get to his feet. Up over halfway now. Simpkin to Ben Trebojevic. And Fanua Blake's off. Brooks across field to Cherry Evans. Keeps it alive to Olakau'atu. Numbers here for Manly, but Garrick spills it. Ruben Garrick spills it. There was space for Falalo. Time is running out here for Manly. Well, they've captain's challenged this for some reason. Seemed like a fairly blatant knock-on to me. Anyway, they're challenging this. What's the most blatant knock-on you'll ever seen? Well, that was a waste of a challenge. Sharks with the scrum. And Jesse Ramian takes the first hit up. Aileen says, go Manly boys. Hazelton up to the 40. The Sharks, they've got 7.5 minutes to navigate. We know that the Sharks are not necessarily good at navigating the back end of a game. We saw that last week against the Raiders. Wilton puts the step on Olakau'atu, and he's brought down by Aioli Source. That is a sign that Olakau'atu is not fully fit. He was stood up very easily there. Tyler, ahoy mate, thank you for taking the time to find us over here on YouTube. One of our TikTokers over here on YouTube now, as the Sharks compete for the high ball, and it's been lost by Manly, and they've blown their captain's challenge. They have no challenge. Hopewade has been called to have knocked this on, and they have no captain's challenge because Ruben Garrick burnt it. And that ball seems like it was knocked back by Jesse Ramian. Well, the Sharks can put this game to bed now. Do they set up a drop goal? Do they go for the try? They can put this game to bed. Scrum down, 10 out. Here they come. Mulatalo with a big don't argue on Ruben Garrick. A big fend-off. Hiroti. Oh, I reckon the Sharks take the 1 point. After what happened to them last week against the Raiders, I think they definitely take the points. They're not going to take any risks after that full-time loss. Hines back on the inside. Charging onto it is Nickera. Tackle 4. Hines to the line. Flat pass for Wilton. Wilton almost burst through. Fifth and last. Here we go. We'll get our answer. Brayley to Hazelton. Hazelton on the burst. And Hazelton scores. Well, they've gone the crash ball. And Hazelton, Dizzy the Egg, has burst over to score. 5 minutes to go. That will be the ball game. The Sharks up 22-12. Kick to come right beside the post. Try confirmed. And the Sharkies are back. And Manly's streak of rebounding is over. 8 times in a row. 8 times in a row leading into this game. Manly have rebounded after a loss. The streak is over. The Sharks have dug deep. And Perth is becoming a happy hunting ground here for the Sharks. Last time they knocked off the Rabbitohs. This year, knocking off Manly. Hines from just to the right of the post, or just to the left of the post, sorry. Should be a simple conversion. Over it goes, 24 points to 12. Okay, I desperately need Manly to score a consolation try. Desperately need Manly to score a consolation. Because I had them at plus 8.5. They've got 4 minutes to score a consolation try for me. Jim Condon says plenty of shark attacks in WA. As Ruben Garrick goes short with the restart, but it's been taken by Stone Street. And the Sharks come down with it. McInnes carries it just outside the 40. Hazelton, the match-winning try scorer. Just short of halfway. 3.5 to go. The Sharks keep it alive. Brayley heads across field. Wilton straightens the attack on play 4, just inside Manly's territory. 3 minutes left. They'll get another set, Manly, at least through the hands now. Hines. They've got a 4-on-2 here as Hines goes through. Fending off, but can't link up with support runners. Fifth and last, 20 metres out. Brayley stays on the short side. Heads back in field now for Trindle. Trindle with the double pump for Kafusi, who spills it, and Manly dive on it, but it's been touched by Manly. It's been touched by Manly and knocked on. And the Sharks will now get a full set of 6 to go even further in front. Oh, Manly are not even going to get another shot. Gotcha! Down the short side they go. Hines. 10 metres out from the line. 2 minutes left. McInnes in midfield to Hazelton. 10 out from the line. They want more points, the Sharks. They want more tries. They taste blood. Trindle with the inside ball for McInnes. 10 out from the line on play 3. Brayley goes right for Trindle. Cut out pass is intercepted. And here they go. Tommy Talau. Does he have the pace? The Sharks are sweeping across. Mulatalo's got him in and away. Mulatalo brings him down, a try saver. But front foot ball here for Manly. Surely they can get across the line here. Cherry Evans under the post, untouched. DCE under the post, untouched. And that brings the margin back down. 24-16, kick to come from right in front. The second intercept, the second breakaway try. (24-16), kick to come from right in front. And they will have less than a minute. They'll have a full set of 6. They'll have a full set of 6 here, Manly, to send this into Golden Point potentially. The Sharks marching back for the restart. A full set of 6. Ah, did you hear that? You're very adorable. Sharks taking their time here with the restart. They want to make sure they get this exactly right. Oh, can you imagine if the Sharks put this out on the full? Can you imagine? 1 minute, 7 seconds to go. The Sharks with the restart. It's going to land safely. Cherry Evans takes it. Fires it across into midfield. The final minute of the game. They'll get one set of 6 here, Manly, to go the length of the field. Takiaho. On tackle 2. Jake Trebojevic to Cherry Evans. Ola Kawatu through the hands. Some space now for Hopewade, who cuts back in field. 30 seconds left. 40 out from their own line. Simpkins, onto Aioli Sauce, who's chopped down on play 4. Jake Trebojevic up to halfway. He's got Brooks. Flat pass for Bullymore. 5th and last. This is it. Simpkin goes quickly. Brooks down the short side. Puts it high. Nobody's chasing through. And Trindle will take it. It's ripped away from Brooks. 1-on-1 steal, but the penalty goes to the Sharks. And they have no challenge remaining. Brooks ripped it away from Trindle, but Trindle was already on the ground. And the Sharks start to celebrate. 24 points to 18 as the referee blows his whistle. The Sharks have won. The Sharks have won 24 points to 18. Oh, well, that ended up being an extremely dramatic game. Oh, before I switch that screen on, let's go back to the try scorers. So Stone Street got a double. Kennedy got one. Hiroti got one. And Hazelton scored what was ultimately the match winner for Manly, Balalo, Luke Brooks, and Cherry Evans. The try scorers. 24-18. And look, if Nico Hines kicked some of those conversions, it would have been an even larger margin. It would have been an even bigger margin. But Hines left some points out there with the goal kicking. Difficult opportunities, in fairness. But he did leave some points out there with the goal kicks that could have had an even larger, more comfortable margin for the Sharks. Oh, well, anyways, I got my tip wrong, but I'm not even disappointed about it. The Sharks are my team. I really thought Manly would bounce back. I really thought they would. So I lost my tip, but I'm not even disappointed. Success for the Sharks. We got halfway through the multi. 50% ticked off. It turned out to be quite an exciting game. After that first half, it was a bit like, But the second half, and especially the back end there, definitely brought some excitement just in the nick of time. That's it, James. James Taya says, as frustrating as it is, I'll still support them through and through. A Manly supporter there. Very disappointed with their performances. But of course, we always support our team, don't we? I mean, I was a very frustrated Shark supporter last weekend when they threw the game away against the Raiders. I'm very glad as a Shark supporter to see they obviously learnt a thing or two this week, closing out the game. You don't want to hop on any bandwagons. It is good, though. It is okay to have a second team. That's absolutely fine as well. I don't mind people having a second or maybe even a third team. But yes, you are right. There's a lot of bandwagoners out there. TMCRK, Storm first team, Dolphins second. I would go, for me, Sharks. And if the Sharks get knocked out, or actually, let me rephrase that. When the Sharks get knocked out. See how much faith I have in my first team? That's how much faith I have in my first team. So Sharks first team, when they get knocked out, I'll go for the Panthers. And should the Panthers get knocked out, I'd go for the Bulldogs. And should the Bulldogs get knocked out and the Tigers are still alive, I would go for the Tigers. So there we go. Anything beyond that, I would have to think about. But yeah, that'd be my top four. All right, Wasted World of Sports. Thank you so much for your company here for another game, another day of footy action. I will be back. Okay, so we'll be doing the Sunday games and Monday morning. For those interested in Formula One, we'll be covering the Bahrain Grand Prix. Okay, let me try that again. We'll be covering the Bahrain Grand Prix early on Monday morning. Apart from that, though, thank you so much for your company on this one. We're closing in on 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're closing in on 2,000 followers on TikTok. Thank you so much for that. Very much appreciate the ongoing support. We dropped some new music, actually. We dropped some new music last night. Who wants to... Should I play it again? We dropped some new music. The James Tedesco song. And I'm now working on a Payne Haas song. Or should I just play the standard theme music? We've got some newbies. We've got some newbies along tonight that we need to welcome along properly. So maybe we'll play just the standard theme music tonight. Anyway, either way, thank you so much. And I will catch you guys next time. Until then, cheers.
The wasted world of sports, eh?
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack. Ahoy! He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.
Jokes and Teig pass last from the kickoff to the final whistle blow. We'll take the two and we're ready to go. We're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted World of Sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With a laugh and a cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques. Just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll raise a roll from sideline jokes to post-match tales. All big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious, and that's our style. With each ahoy, we raise our skies. Ahoy, ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. true. Wasted world of sports, here's to our cheer. We'll see you on the pitch and drink some beer. Yeah.
One, two, three, four, Teddy lost his shorts again.